Hi guys, Mrs. Townsley here, and I've got your 5 a day. And what we're working on this week is week 6, and we've got Monday. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I hope you guys had a great weekend. It says express the ratio in 3 different ways, and they want a ratio that is whole to part. So the whole, you want to think of the total to the part or the portion, okay? So out of the dozen roses, and a dozen, if you don't know, is 12. And that's okay if you don't know. Don't worry about it, because I just told you. Okay, so out of the dozen roses, which is 12, 7 were yellow. Okay, so you just write it in a fraction form, just like they had given it to you in the sentence. Okay, so out of the 12, 7 were yellow. So out of the dozen roses, which is 12, 7 were yellow. And you can write it with a fraction, or you could write it with the word two, or you can write it with a colon. Either way, it shows you the relationship or the proportional value of the two numbers. Okay, good job. All right, next one says use an integer to describe the situations. Debt of $32. So if you owe somebody $32, it's a negative 32. Okay. And if you have a savings of $100, that is a positive. You don't necessarily have to write the positive sign, but I did for you. It's a positive 100. Okay. All right, so think of debt like you owe somebody money, and savings, that's positive. You have savings, you have value in your bank account. You have something in your bank account, okay? All right, number 3, write an expression to represent an amount, D, divided by 4. Okay, so if it says an amount, D, you want to write that down first, divided by, well, you know that is the division sign, 4, okay? You can also write it D divided by 4 like that. It means the same thing. So D divided by 4 or D divided by 4. Both mean the same thing. Okay, good job. All right, next one, number 4. List all the factors, and the factors are the numbers when multiplied together give you this, which is the answer. So like a factor for 8 would be 1 and 8, because 1 times 8 is 8. And then 2 and 4, because 2 times 4 is 8. So those are all the factors for 8. And then for 6, what are the factors of the two numbers multiplied together that would give you this for an answer? Well, 1 times 6 is 6, and then 2 times 3 is 6, and that's it. So all they want are the factors for these numbers, but now they want you to circle the greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor that they share is 2. Okay. All right, next one, the multiples. So you just want the multiples of 10. So you want to start with the first one. So you just count up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, because they wanted 5 multiples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're just doing the multiples of 10. 10 times 1, 10 times 2, 10 times 3, 10 times 4, 10 times 5. Or you can add 10 plus 10 is 20. 10 plus 20 is 30. 30 plus 10 is 40. And 40 plus 10 is 50. You can do it that way too. Okay? Because multiples and addition work together. Because addition and multiplication are best friends. And all multiplication is repeated addition. Okay? All right. Multiples of 5. So you want to do 5, 10, 15, 20, and then 25. And then let's see if we have 5, because that's what they had asked us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we did that right. And then now they want the least or the lowest common multiple. So the lowest one that I see is 10. And that's it. You're done. All right, number 5. Number 5 says 23.31 divided by 6.3. So go ahead and write this out like you would. 23.31, or you could say $23.31 divided by 6.3. Now remember, you can't divide this because of this issue right here, which is the decimal, okay? But what you can do is get rid of it, and the way you can get rid of it is moving it over by 1, and whatever you do on the outside, you do on the inside, just move this over by 1. So now your problem looks a little different. It's 23.3 0.1, remember, because we moved that over 1, so we changed the number, divided by 63. Okay, so that's a little different. But all you did was recognize that this cannot be divided because of the decimal. So what you can do, you can move this over 1 and move that over 1. Okay? Now think to yourself, how many times is 63 going to 23? Well, that's 0. What about 63 into 233? I'm going to guess 3. And I'm going to guess 3 because I know if it would be 4 times, pretend this is a 60, would be 240, so that would be too big. So I feel pretty confident that 3 would work. And just go ahead and multiply it out like you would. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 6 is 18, and you subtract. 3 minus 9 you can't do, so that becomes a 13. 13 minus 9 is 4. And then this 3 was a 2, so that's not going to work. So you have to make this a 12, and that's a 1. So 12 minus 8 is 4. Okay? And 44 is less than 63, so we knew that this was the right number to divide into. Okay? If this was bigger than 63, then you would have taken it one more time. That would have been 4. Okay? All right, so this is our answer. Move down the 1. So now we have to figure out how many times does 63 go into 441. You move your decimal there because this is where it was. How many times does 63 go into 441? Well, I know that 3 times would be about 200 because 189 rounding up would be about 200. So I know 6 would work. I'm going to try 7. I'm just guessing, and that's what you need to do too. Okay, just try. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 6 is 42, 43, 44. Oh, look, that worked out nice. Because then we get to 0. So your answer is 3.7. Okay, make sure you have all the work. All right, next one. 7.36 times 2.4. So just write it down. 7.36 times 2.4. Okay, and just multiply it out like you would normally, and don't even worry about these decimal points yet. Okay. So you want to start down here. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12, 13, 14. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 is 29. Okay, and then you're moving over a placeholder, so you want to put a placeholder here. There's a 0. So 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. And then 7 times 2 is 14. And then you want to add those up. And it looks like I kept these in a nice neat column, so I can add easily. 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 9 plus 7 is 16. Carry my 1. 4 plus 2 is 6. Plus 1 more is 7. And then bring down my 1. All right, now I'm not quite finished because I have these decimal places in my question, okay, in my problem. So I need to put this amount of decimal places down here in my answer. So start at the end of your number. 1, 2 decimal places, what you did up here, and 1 was what you did down here. So you have 2 here, 1 here. So that's 3 decimal points total. So you want to start here, go over 1, 2, 3. Your answer is 17.664. Okay, and that's it. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.